From the petition to get Lily Tino banned at Disney all the way to Simone Biles and Riley Gaines, we have lots to chat about today. I also have a little bit of tea about Brett Cooper. Okay, I was listening to her episode and I don't think I've seen anybody make a video about this. So welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. For those of you who are regularly watching my videos right now, thank you so much. It truly, truly means a lot. I laugh because it's not a lot. But here's the thing. We are growing a community here, okay? If it's a slow burn, it's a slow burn. That's okay. We're looking for quality over quantity, okay? I want to build an authentic audience. I don't just want to be, clickbait all the time and stuff like that. So for those of you who watch, thank you so much. If this is a video that you like, please share it with your friends, with your groups, anything, and help me get my name out there. But other than that, let's get into today's video. So first we're going to talk about Riley Gaines and Simone Biles. Okay, Simone Biles reposted one of Riley Gaines' things and said, all of this because you lost something to a trans woman. You should be trying to make trans women feel more included in sports. And then said that Riley Gaines looked like a man. Despite Simone Biles' entire shtick being about body positivity, because Simone Biles, when you're a woman who has muscles, okay, you do tend to look a little bit more manlier. It just is what it is, okay? But she's always said, like, it doesn't matter, I am healthy, I'm fit, and people make fun of me, but I'm owning it. And then turns around and says the same damn thing to Riley Gaines. Now, I don't want to talk about this for long because there's a ton of videos with lots of great discourse about it. But what I will say is that I've noticed in sports, there is a massive shift in this whole pride thing. So not only are we seeing companies shift away from pride, we are also seeing sports do the same thing. And I mean, my husband, okay, he loves dirt biking. So he's in the dirt biking niche, whatever it's called. And they put out like this post being like, oh, if you're part of the community, put this on, or show your support to the community, put this rainbow sticker on. And everybody, it was filled with negative comments. And then nope, they didn't bring it up again, and nobody put the sticker on the race day. So I'll tell you that people are getting sick and tired of it, okay? Here's the thing. You want to celebrate Pride Month as a Smex shop, you know what I mean? Okay, I could understand that. Or even H&M, like fashion where it is mainly gay people buying. Okay, no offense if you buy from H&M. It just means you're a very fashionable man. But for the most part, I would say H&M's manly, are probably gay men. And like I said, that's no offense to you. I beg my husband to wear H&M. He is a Mark's Work Warehouse type of man. So I could see something like H&M being more geared to Pride Month, right? What I don't understand was why Home Depot was ever doing this. How about Home Depot donates to men's mental health? I'm going to make a whole video about that because this whole thing really drives me nuts. And it is massive discourse to continuously separate us, and instead of coming together and figuring out solutions, right? Right. And what's interesting about the Simone Biles and Riley Gaines is that a lot of people have come forward and supported Riley Gaines. Because here's the thing. What would be more logical? It would be more logical for us to have a separate division for people who are trans. They're going through such a unique medical situation, okay, that to me, when I would think about this, when I was on the left, I would say that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Like, people who are transitioning are going through so much in their lives just to transition and continuously stay like that. I didn't think there would be people who would take these laws and take advantage of them, but there is. And that's what we're going to get into Lily Tino, okay? And here's the thing with the Riley, before we get into Lily Tino, is that Riley Gaines talks about how she feels violated, felt assaulted in the locker room when this person who had no bottom surgery was changing in front of them. And not only that, they found a lot of this person's internet history. Not great. People need to learn what autogynephilia is. I'm not even sure I'm allowed to say it because it's real. And that's where we will go into Lilly Tino. And how dare you, Simone Biles, dismiss someone's story like Riley Gaines, someone who has been a victim as yourself by the guy who taught gymnastics or whatever. Please. These women have to stop. I don't know what side of history you think you're on, okay? So finally, people are seeing Lilly Tino for who they really are. And I only say those words because I'm on YouTube. I love to do a Rumble version where I am uncensored, but here we are, okay? Because what people don't understand, and I was on the left, so I understand what their talking points are, okay? Listen, they're going to say things like, well, that never happens. Okay, but it's happened. And it's happened too many times. I can say Jessica Yaniv, okay? Those women lost their business because they wouldn't wax a non-transitioned person's things at an all-female spa. Women who have been assaulted in domestic violence shelters and in prisons. What is wrong with the left? Okay? Because here's the thing. I can admit that I was wrong, that self-ID is not leading to good things. It's not. If anything, it's actually leading to the pharmaceutical company taking advantage of people. Okay? But in the case of Lilly Tino, people really need to learn what autogynephilia is. You don't go into the bathrooms and record yourself. Most women don't. You're not going to find, unless there's no women in the bathroom, you're not going to find women, for the most part, especially millennial and up, taking pictures in a bathroom. Okay? Have I done it? Yes. In like a complex when nobody was in there. Okay? But I also would never, we also know better now. Okay? We're not kids anymore. We know better than to take pictures in the bathroom. It leaves women unsafe. I don't even know why I have to explain this to people. But here's the thing, is that I didn't realize that this was a problem until it happened to me. Someone mocked me for my own experience, and I'm not saying that I'm a victim at all. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm just telling you guys about my experience. Now, I was on my way home one time from down south, and I went into a bathroom, and there was a straight up man with a wig on in there. I was honestly so shocked, and I did not ever think that I would be scared of it, scared of something like that, a situation like that. My body had a physiological reaction. I could not pee for 10 minutes because I was scared that this person was going to come back into that bathroom and be allowed to do it. And then me get in trouble for not using the correct pronouns, because that is what happens in Canada. And I'm sorry to say, but people like Lilly Tino, I'm so glad that the left is starting to realize that Lilly Tino is a problem, because Lilly Tino is not the only problem. People are taking it. Men. I can't even believe I have to explain this to a whole population who chooses a bear over a man. Men are taking advantage of trans laws. Men are putting on wigs, pretending to be women, and going into bathrooms. I don't know what else. And then they can basically identify as whatever they want in Canada and get away with it. It's dangerous, and it's not only is it unsafe to women, okay? Why would this be a plus for the people who actually struggle with being intersex or having gender dysphoria? Can someone riddle me that? Because all this has done is done damage, and people don't even know about things like intersex and gender dysphoria because of the fact that we have normalized gender dysphoria to a point where you can just hop in and out of genders, and that's just normal to teach to kids the gender unicorn. Okay? So overall, I just want to say Lily Tino is not the only person doing this. Okay? They're the only person grifting right now, or maybe one of the main ones grifting. But here's the thing, is that many women have been, subjected to the fails of self-ID laws. And right now, I really truly think that this is going to go down in history as a time where we recognize that the government and big PH, are taking advantage of the community and making things significantly worse. Because I will stand by the fact that we were fine before this. Canada, gay marriage has been legal here for a long time. Okay, like, we have not cared about these issues until Trudeau came in and made them a divisive issue and put all of this inappropriate stuff in front of kids. Until then, nobody cared. Nobody, especially Canadians. It was not as big of a deal. We didn't even have, like, I remember Westboro Baptist Church. I do remember that, but that was in America. Okay? We need to listen to women's stories. Okay? Women are being assaulted in places that they should borderline feel safe in. I'm talking jails. I'm talking DV shelters. I wish that this wasn't true. I wish this wasn't true. I wish this wasn't happening. I truly was under the belief that none of this would happen, and I was wrong, and I admit that. Okay? People are taking advantage of self-ID laws, and it's not okay. The companies and government taking advantage of the community. Not only that, people like Faye Johnstone, Karima Saad has done so much uncovering of the anti-hate network being tied to people like Faye Johnstone. And it's just, guys, this has only ended up harming women and people who are actually suffering from these conditions, because now we're all under the impression that this is just a normal part of living. And I have said it before in my videos, I'll say it again. It would be exactly like if one day they deemed ADHD or autism just normal and didn't help people at all, okay? Or just said everybody has it and just doesn't make any sense, okay? I have done a lot of research before. All of the gender, the theory came out as fact, because that's what the left thinks, that it's fact. And if you don't want that taught to your children, that you are somehow homophobic. No, they are, okay? Because they are under the impression, like, the theory is all about eliminating terms such as gay, straight, and lesbian, because those are gendered terms. Okay, it's deeply rooted in homophobia, and I don't even know how to get this across. Teaching kids homophobic slurs in the 4th grade to defeat homophobia is not doing it, okay? It is not doing it. And I don't even think I use the F word in elementary school, but my daughter's getting called the F word. Thank God I raised my kids to not give a crap what other kids say, okay, and actually have some backbone. But, like, I'm pretty sure the only reason they know that slur is because of the internet, or because they genuinely teach them it to unteach them it. You can't make it up, folks. You can't make it up. Now listen to this. This is Drew Affollow.
Fact that men are evil, that is true. Like, man as a whole is evil. Like, just as an entity, a general idea. Men have inflicted violence and oppression on the world in ways that are irreparable. Like, it's okay if we say that out loud. It's okay if we... Gender is a social construct and it's made up. Their minds spray against the wall behind them. They immediately are like, what the fuck are you even talking about? I'm like, see, you're not smart enough to have this conversation.
I made that edit. What is wrong with her? What do you mean? The title is mental gymnastics, for sure. Okay? So, overall, you need to talk about women. Listen to women's stories, which, by the way, are being suppressed. I shared about how there was a hate crime in Nova Scotia last year on TikTok, and it would not let me share the story at all. at all. And this was like a legitimate hate crime. Like, they were attacked by people from, not from here, for being gay. Like, that is what they were being called as they were being attacked. But can you guys think of why I wasn't allowed to talk about it and why I got banned? I can, but that's a different time for a different day. So, and I'm really passionate about this, guys, because as you can see, I'm an elder emo. Okay, my ex-boyfriend and I, the pictures, there were sometimes you couldn't tell who was the girl and who was the boy. I am now very feminine. I have my daughter. I have grown into my own style. I know you guys think that the septum is because I was on the left. No, it's because I was emo. Okay. And I think I mentioned Brett Cooper at the beginning of this video, but if I didn't, I guess here is a little nugget. But Brett Cooper, the other day, I was listening to her while I was gardening, okay? And I was picking dandelions for my dandelion honey, and I heard something very interesting, and I kind of literally stopped in my tracks, and I was like, okay. So she said in this podcast, talking about Taylor Swift owning her own work, she said, I would do anything to have my old work be mine. As in, I can conclude from that situation that she probably doesn't like that Ragan took over the channel. And probably still would have been Ragan's friend, in my opinion, if, like, she didn't say this in the video at all, but, like, I'm gathering because I've listened to her one podcast that she did talking about wanting to be friends and people make choices. I think that the biggest betrayal was probably that was Brett's baby and Ragan took over. Not that Ragan worked at Daily Wire. I don't think that she would have cared as much if Ragan stayed at the Daily Wire. I think it's the fact that she took on the channel. I don't know. To me, that's what it sounds like. Now, the only person I've ever seen get their channel back is Amala Apanobi, which is so wild to me that she got her channel. Thank goodness. I'm so glad she's back, she's had a crazy... My guess is that Diddy, it's a Diddy situation. Why she's being stalked, but that's neither here nor there. I am praying for Amala. Amala, I don't know if you want me to pray for you, but I have been. So anyways, guys, as if Amala is going to be watching this, my 200 views, take a bow. But yeah, Brett Cooper mentioning that, it really, like, I didn't want to make a bunch of videos about it, but there was a couple of things I wanted to talk about, and that was one of them. And then the fact that she did that and she said that she would be friends with Ragan again. To me personally, I don't know if she actually would be, but I'm really happy for Brett Cooper. I'm so happy that she's pregnant. That's so adorable. I'm so happy for her. And yeah, I wish that Brett Cooper could have all of her old episodes back as well. I think Daily Wire is losing it a bit. I don't know. They just haven't really picked up any talent. Ragan's views for a while there, I was getting a little bit more views than Ragan. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow, and thanks for watching the video up until now, and I will see you later. Bye.